Fans of Young Sheldon Season 7 are convinced that a new set image portends George's death. Since Sheldon and Mary came home from Germany, everything is going great for the Cooper family. Although Young Sheldon Season 7 Episode 5 is disappointing because it's a filler, in other conditions, it may have been a good episode. Regretfully, the family's newfound tranquility won't continue for too long, because George's death is certain. Reagan Rivard made fun of her on-screen father Lance Barber, as shown in a Reddit post by a user. She posted the joke to Instagram, where her fans have taken notice of her caption. The caption reads, "Just before Barber is about to enter the hair and makeup department for the Big Bang Theory prequel, Rivard executes a jump scare on him and writes, giving Lance an early heart attack." Before Barber introduced the character, George's demise was already predetermined by the Big Bang Theory. The Cooper father was long dead by the time the nerd-centric sitcom's plot began. It has been determined that he passed away shortly before Sheldon went out to attend college, which will happen in Young Sheldon very soon. Consequently, the prequel is forced to deal with sorrow, especially because the program will carry on in spirit with Montana Jordan and Emily Osment's spin-off George and Mandy. Now that George's death is inevitable, the only question left is when he might pass away. If Rivard's social media statement is a sign of the Cooper patriarch's impending death, it might happen very soon. The Big Bang Theory family didn't get into the details of the tragedy, but they get the impression that the patriarch's passing wasn't predicted. This increases the suspense around George's death because young Sheldon, who is now on break, could appear at any time in the following episodes of Season 7. Nevertheless, CBS must act quickly to bring the family series to a close on a positive note. Given how much young Sheldon adores Barber's George, they should ideally try to spend as much time as possible with him. Having said that, postponing his passing ultimately makes it more challenging to plan a fitting funeral for the family. The project would have more time to move past the incident and concentrate on the future if George had passed away in the middle of the season. The Cooper father in Young Sheldon is a flawed but loving family man, unlike the bad father that Sheldon and Mary remembered from the Big Bang Theory. Because George's passing will fundamentally alter the course of the family's arc, writing his impending death in the prequel will be more harder. Georgie will need to care for his mother and sister instead of his expanding family. However, it's unclear how this will work out given that Missy and Mary won't be returning for the next Young Sheldon sequel series. There has been a lot of discussion over the differences in George's representation between the two shows, but Mary's portrayal also has to be looked at, particularly because she was a regular on the Big Bang Theory. It makes reasonable that Mary, who has been through several years of turmoil in their marriage, will be too devastated by George's passing to be able to function. Missy, on the other hand, will undoubtedly suffer from the loss, especially given how close she is to her father. Her redemption journey may be derailed by George's death, sending her down a darker road that ultimately leads to her demise in the Big Bang Theory. Sheldon, for his part, will never get the chance to explain the true events surrounding the retcon cheating issue involving George. Because the prequel is able to further develop each Cooper family member, they were all slightly worse in the Big Bang Theory. There has been a lot of discussion over the differences in George's representation between the two shows, but Mary's portrayal also has to be looked at, particularly because she was a regular on the Big Bang Theory. The Cooper matriarch's defining characteristics, her steadfast adherence to her faith in particular, have been preserved in the family comedy. But after being expelled from Pastor Jeff's church, she cut herself apart from her familiar circle. It would have been fantastic to keep Mary in this manner because her home life improved when she was independent. Nevertheless, given her steadfast devotion to her church in the Big Bang Theory, there would be a greater chance of story holes being introduced. In Young Sheldon Season 7 Episode 5, it was disclosed that George helped Mary reestablish her faith by contacting Pastor Jeff to invite her back into his ministry. The prequel shows how George portrayed the evil Mary in the Big Bang Theory in between this and his probable demise.